It's great to see everyone. Thank you for joining our monthly coffee chat. We're super excited to see everyone here today with us. Our first few weeks of school have been great. It's great to see all of our children back on campus as we have more virtual learners returning. It's awesome to welcome everyone back. We've really missed having our students here, learning in person and getting to know and work with each other. Up first is our counselors. September is about self-care. The beginning of the school year is full of transitions, stressors, which make self-care a necessary practice. The counselor's curriculum this month highlights the importance of self-awareness and knowing when to ask for help. Whether we're in or outside of our classroom, we want to welcome our amazing counselors, Ms. Brown and Ms. Gonell, to talk about self-care and provide valuable tips on taking care of ourselves, for our family, for each other. Take it away, ladies.
Good morning, everybody. We're so happy to see you again. You know me, I'm Ms. Cano. I've been here a while. And we have Ms. Brown, our full-time working counselor. So we prepared something for you. And month by month, we do have themes. We are learning how to do some self-care, teaching our students too how to handle strong emotions and be aware of who they are as they grow and learn. All right, Ms. Brown, take it away.
Okay, hi everyone, good morning. As Ms. Cano said, I'm Ms. Brown. So we're going to be talking about just some tips and pointers for transitioning into the new school year. If we want to just jump in with our presentation. So the way we'll do this is Ms. Cano and I will kind of hand off in between slides, so that way we can translate for those that would like a translation here. So to start with our first slide, we have our back to school toolkit, which is all about managing stress, managing responsibilities, and making sure that we're taking the lead in exemplifying how to manage those stressors for our students. So it's been a rough start to the school year. We've had a lot of different adjustments that we've had to roll with. And so we just want to provide you guys with these tips, templates, resources, just to get you guys in a good place, make sure that you feel like you're prepared for the journey ahead. I think that we've all been doing fine so far. So we'll just keep on having each other's backs, make sure that we are taking care of ourselves, because it is self-care September. And, you know, we can't really help each other if we're not helping ourselves. So, okay.
All right, aquí tenemos el kit de herramientas de regreso a la escuela. Todos hemos sentido el estrés de mantenernos inseguros y administrar nuestras responsabilidades. En el caso de los niños, el estrés y la ansiedad pueden impedir que rindan al máximo en la escuela. A veces, si ellos están pensando en otras cosas o preocupados, le afecta cómo se van en escuela. Pero en nuestra escuela no está solo. Aquí estamos para apoyar, ayudar a los estudiantes y a los padres. Hoy vamos a compartir algunos consejos, plantillas y recursos que le ayudaron a prepararse para el nuevo año escolar.
So we have some parent recharge tips. In short, it's relax, try to relax. So R is recognize when you are consumed with worries. Know when you yourself are just, you know, not quite present and are focusing a little bit too much on what could happen, what should happen, making sure that you're able to kind of bring that back to the present. Eliminate any toxic thoughts. Don't focus on the worst case scenario, because maybe we might manifest that. Let go and love yourself. Make sure that you are taking time to Just appreciate where you're at and let go of what you can't control is what I always tell our students, is focus on what you can control in this situation. Attitude is key to problem solving. If we try to have a positive attitude about what's coming next, then we're going to be more prepared in general because we're not letting our mind get consumed by that negativity. We're not bringing ourselves down before the situation actually happens. And then extra sleep and exercise. You can never go wrong with too much sleep and too much exercise. Well, you can maybe overdo it sometimes, but make sure you're getting enough. Take it away, Gloria.
Okay. All right. Aquí tenemos consejos de recarga para padres. Reconoce cuando estás consumido por las preocupaciones, porque si quedamos en esa área de preocupación, no podemos pensar. A veces es más difícil resolver problemas o cosas que pasan durante el día. Elimina los pensamientos tóxicos. Como dijo Ms. Brown, es que si quedamos en ese área de estrés o preocupación, no podemos pensar, no podemos resolver problemas, no podemos apoyar a los niños como ellos lo necesitan. Y aquí, este es una cosa diferente, es como dejar los problemas. A veces queremos o no queremos, pero cargamos todas las preocupaciones y es mejor, ok, yo voy a quedar con que yo lo puedo controlar y dejar lo que no. Y ámate a ti mismo. La actitud es clave para la resolución de problemas. Y espero que podamos quedar en una actitud positiva, pero a veces si esos sentimientos vienen, pues quedo con unos por un ratito, pero después déjalos. Piensa en qué puedes hacer para mejorar su actitud y apoyar a su niño. También es muy importante que tienen bastante sueño y ejercicio. También nosotros aquí en la escuela hablamos con los niños y ellos también tienen ideas en cómo calmarse o cómo arreglar sus sentimientos si están un poco negativos.
Okay, so after we've relaxed, we can focus on managing those worries. Usually a good place to start is accepting that things are uncertain, especially these days with all of the changing policies, politics, COVID, and just generalized anxiety. It's important that we can just learn to accept some of that uncertainty, make worrying actually productive. So when we're worried, we can try to reel ourselves back into the present and focus on what we can control, right? So that was where we started. And then what can we do? What is actually within our control? And usually if we start small, we can tackle large problems. Stop fighting your feelings. You can just accept being stressed out, accept that it is maybe overwhelming sometimes, and try to cultivate a little bit of compassion for yourself and for others. Yeah. So, I mean, that's easier said than done sometimes. We are living in a very tumultuous world, but I think we're all feeling it in different ways. And it's important for us to have that empathy for each other and support each other as we try to figure out this school year, figure out what we're doing right now in our society, figuring out just where we're going to go next and what's best for ourselves and our families. And just trying to make sure that we are taking care and that we're being compassionate.
Okay. ¿Cómo manejar sus preocupaciones? Aceptar la incertidumbre. No sabemos qué va a pasar. No podemos ver el futuro y a veces estamos ahí, ¿qué va a pasar? Espero que nada mal pasa con mi familia. A veces tenemos que quedar con los sentimientos, aceptarlos por un ratito y luego, ok, ¿cómo voy a usar estos sentimientos, estas preocupaciones para mejorar mi actitud y de mi familia también? Haga que las preocupaciones sean productivos. So, a veces sí, está bien, sí, está preocupado, pero también con eso podemos decidir, ok, ¿qué voy a hacer? ¿Qué puedo hacer? ¿Qué puedo controlar para que mi familia quede bien? Deja de luchar contra los sentimientos. A veces no queremos sentir los sentimientos porque, pues no quiero quedar preocupado, no quiero quedar ansiosa, pero a veces si tratamos de poner como un alto, eso no está bien porque viene en otra manera, los sentimientos vienen en otra manera. Y cultivar la compasión por sí mismo, compasión por el mundo, por nuestra comunidad. A veces nomás pueden ver, ok, pues aquí estoy, todos están estresados y yo voy a tener compasión.
Okay, so next we have creating healthy habits. So that includes a lot of things, right? What are you doing? What are you not doing? Are you keeping good nutrition, hydration, sleep, hygiene, and going offline sometimes? Making sure that you've got some self-discipline in your daily habits is super important. One thing that we've talked about at school is that, children really need to be getting enough sleep, enough water. Just those basic biological needs sometimes can make a huge difference in whether or not kids are able to focus in the classroom, whether or not they're even ready to show up to school if they're not getting a good night's sleep. So school-age children actually need 9 to 12 hours of sleep every night for healthy development. It's important to set a consistent bedtime for them and avoid using any screens right before bed because it keeps the mind from producing melatonin and winding down. So I would encourage you guys to have some sort of schedule for when we're going to turn off the devices and keep them away from the bed so that way kids don't, wake up in the middle of the night and start scrolling because, even adults are bound to do it sometimes. So trying to make sure we provide that structure for them so they learn how to have the structure for themselves eventually. If we let them do whatever they want, then they're not really going to have an easy time later on figuring out where those lines are, where those limits are, and how to really take good care of themselves. If you see on the right of this slide, it says the amount of water that children should have per day, depending on their age. So if you're age 5 to 8, they need at least 5 glasses of water per day. Making sure that your kiddos are bringing water bottles to school is really important. 9 to 12-year-olds need 7 glasses, and then 13 and up, 10 glasses. So those are like 8-ounce glasses. And I mean, obviously, you're getting some of your water from your food intake, but we want to instill that practice of trying to make sure that we're staying hydrated, trying to make sure that we're taking care of our biological needs because, your mental health, your well-being is affected by what you're doing with your body. So whether you're, whatever you're putting into your body, how much you're taking care of yourself, how much rest you're getting, all of that adds up.
Ok, aquí tenemos hábitos saludables, la nutrición, la hidratación, el sueño, la higiene y desconectarse son una parte importante de un estilo de vida equilibrado. Porque si todo el tiempo estamos con el tele o computadora, eso no ayuda a calmar. Es mejor si puede tener como una rutina, como, ok, si los niños van a descansar, van a dormir a las 8, a las 7, usted puede bajar las luces, quitar el tele, los juegos, todo eso, calmarse así. Porque los niños en escuela, ellos necesitan como desde 9 a 12 horas de sueño todas las noches para sentir mejor y desarrollar su saludable. Si ustedes establezcan una hora constante para acostarse y evite usar pantallas justos antes de acostarse, ya que eso evitará que la mente produzca melatonina. Eso es lo que necesitamos para dormir y para relajarnos. También aquí tenemos una guía de cuánto agua debemos tomar cada día para su edad. Los niños desde 5 hasta 6 años necesitan como 5 vasos. Los de 9 y 12 años, 7 vasos. Y los de 13 y alto, 10 vasos de agua. Y también, como dijo Ms. Brown, con las frutas, con otras refrescos, pero con la soda, no, mejor. Agua es el mejor para todos los niños, para nosotros también.
Okay, so exercise. Exercise is huge. And there's a lot of different types of exercise that we might not even consider to be exercise, like breathing exercises. We have body scans and meditation, which I don't really know if most people would consider that exercise, but it is. You're truly practicing that connection to your body and to your breath and that control over your thoughts and your mind. So one thing that we like to practice at school are breathing exercises because they're something that you can do anywhere. So taking deep breaths with your child can really help to calm them when they're feeling stressed or upset. And we like to do, we do 4-4-4, which is inhaling for 4 seconds, holding your breath for 4 seconds, and then exhaling for 4 seconds, and then doing that 4 times. And it can feel kind of silly when you're doing it, but if we can try to take it seriously, it really does make a huge difference. They get all of that oxygen to their brain and they're practicing slowing down because, as we know, kids tend to be a little bit hyper. And, when there's a lot going on, they can just get really overwhelmed and they don't have those tools unless we teach it to them. So teaching them how to slow down and just, at least for a moment, let it go and then recollect and go back to the problem. We also have body scans. So helping your child be mindful of their body while they stretch can help release tension when they're feeling stress. As we know that we store tension in our bodies, usually, in your back, in your shoulders, hamstrings, all of it's connected. So if we can teach our kids to just focus on different parts of their body and really trying to breathe into those muscles, relax, they are learning about their bodies just as much as we are sometimes. And so if we can start them young and getting connected to that, that practice of checking in with different parts of the body and making sure that you're, keeping your joints fluid and keeping your muscles as relaxed as possible is important. And then meditation, which I think is kind of exercising your mind. So practicing visualization of pleasant images can help focus your child on the present moment and help to reduce worries. So it's all about that positive attitude, positive thought, and visualizing what you want, visualizing things that are going to make you feel better, feel good, and not focusing so much on the negative. So all of that is super important.
Ok, y aquí tenemos ejercicios para controlar el estrés y la ansiedad. So, sabemos que durante el tiempo todos tenemos los sentimientos de ansiedad. Y aquí tenemos ideas o una manera en cómo mantener esos o controlar el estrés y la ansiedad. Lo que enseñamos a los niños aquí en la escuela es ejercicios de respiración. Es como, ok, vamos a tomar un respiro muy fuerte. Y también tenemos otras ideas o maneras de hacerlo. Como yo a veces en clase, yo hago uno que llamo square breathing o un cuadrado. Es como inhalar y luego exhalar. So we teach all those things. Enseñamos todos esos a los niños. También puedes escaneado su cuerpo. ¿Dónde sientes sus preocupaciones o su estrés? Y así podemos ver, ok, voy a ver en mi cuerpo dónde siento eso. Son aquí, en mi cabeza, en mi estómago, ¿dónde está? Y también los ejercicios de respiración les ayuda. Y el meditación, así podemos practicar la estas palabras a veces. Visualización y imágenes agradables. Si los niños sienten el estrés o ansiedad, puedes decir, ¿sabes qué? Vamos a ver aquí en nuestra mente una cosa que un momento que reduce las preocupaciones. Oh, ok, cuando estaba con mi familia, oh, así con mi mascota, el gatito, un momento, una memoria aquí puede cambiar su mente o su actitud.
So there are some signs to look out for to just know if your child needs a little bit more mental health support. One of them is when they start crying a little more easily and are difficult to console. Tantrums, crying is normal, but it's the frequency and the time that it lasts. So if they're crying for a really long time and nothing is helping, that's a sign that they might need some extra support. Difficulty sleeping and staying asleep. A lot of times that's a sign of maybe anxiety or, something else might be going on that's keeping them awake. Maybe they're really afraid of the dark, which, is common. But those are things that we can definitely work through. There's also separation anxiety, being fearful to explore, fearful to be away from parents. Bedwetting after they're potty trained, hitting, biting, or more intense tantrums, and then conflict and aggression themes during play. So whenever a child is maybe thinking that it's playful to be violent, there's a difference between good touch and bad touch, and knowing what the difference is and when it's appropriate to even touch someone at all. Super important. So these are again things just to look out for and communicate with us so you can understand more about what might be going on, so we can check in, so we can provide you guys with resources and just try to help, because we've seen a lot, and we're still growing too, but we've got some skills and some knowledge that we'd love to share with you, and some support that we can connect you with should you or your children need it.
Señales de que su hijo puede necesitar apoyo de salud mental. So, aquí tenemos, ok, déjame ver aquí. Llorar, los niños lloran más fácil y es difícil de consolarlos. So, si tardan mucho, si tienen mucho tiempo en esa área, es posible que necesiten un poco más apoyo. O que ellos tienen dificultad para dormir y quedar dormido porque están preocupados o tienen miedo, ansiedad por separación o tienen miedo a explorar. Como si estás en el parque y no quieren quedar allí cerquita, no quieren explorar. Nosotros vemos a veces, especialmente cuando empezó escuela, que los niños quieren quedar con mami o papi porque todavía no saben o no conocen. Pero ya vamos un poco mejor así en esa área. A veces los niños, si se mojan la cama después que hayan aprendido a ir al baño, o si le dan golpes, mordiscos, rabietas más intensas. Los niños, especialmente los chiquitos, a veces sí si pegan o gritan, pero si eso es mucho o si tienen rabietas más intensas, es posible que están preocupados o ansiosos. O temas de conflicto y agresión durante el juego. Si usted ve que, están allí peleando más o con las palabras durante el juego, es posible que necesitan apoyo. Aquí estamos para apoyar. También si necesitan más información, podemos compartir información con ustedes y podemos dar como nombres o lugares donde pueden ir para más apoyo.
Okay, so this is our QR code. That's what it's called. You guys can scan this on your phones or just go to the website down below, namicentraltexas.org/crisis. And this is just a resource. It's got a bunch of different resources for more extreme situations, but also just some accountability, some extra support in case you guys need it. So feel free to go to this link, check it out, see if any of it would be helpful for you. If you have any questions, you guys can reach out to us as well.
Okay, so aquí pueden usar este code para buscar agencias o lugares que pueden ayudar. También aquí estamos, nosotros tenemos diferentes números de teléfono, también tenemos alguien más que trabaja con nosotros y si necesitan apoyo podemos hacer eso.
And then last but not least, our contact information. So I don't know if you guys already have this, you've probably seen it before, but on the off chance that you haven't, this is our office phone number and then my email address and Ms. Cano's email address. So we're always happy to hear from you guys.
Yes. Aquí tenemos el número de teléfono de nosotros y también el correo electrónico aquí. So, si necesitan hablar con alguien, aquí estamos para servirles.
I think Kent's going to put it in the chat too. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to what we had to say. Feel free to connect with us at any time if you have any more questions.
All right, thank you. Thank you, amazing ladies, Ms. Brown and Ms. Scano. So Ms. Barrett is here with us, our amazing assistant principal. We also have a couple of people in the crowd. We have Ms. Harris, our librarian. We have Ms. Sura Hasim, who is our PSS, our parent support specialist. And we have our amazing PTA president, Mr. Giles. I'm gonna have Ms. Barrett help me translating this morning. So good morning, and Ms. Barrett, you wanna take it away?
Buenos días a todos y muchas gracias por acompañarnos hoy. Les queremos presentar a nuestra bibliotecaria, Ms. Harris. Ahorita, por favor, nuestra bibliotecaria, para el apoyo, nuestra especialista del apoyo a padres, Ms. Hasim, y nuestro presidente de la Asociación de Padres y Maestros, PTA, Meredith Giles, el señor Meredith Giles.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and let Mr. Giles just open it up very quickly. Just to do a real quick intro and plug for PTA. PTA is always here to help and support us, so take it away, Meredith.
Thank you. I love that, Presidente. I love that, Ms. Barrett. Sounds so much better. So yeah, good morning, everybody. I'll be real quick, just a real quick plug. If you haven't joined PTA yet, please do. Bam, right there in the chat. There's how you can join the website. There's also my email address that you can get any information you need to me. We do have our first PTA meeting of the year coming up this Thursday at 6 o'clock. There'll be some information. The Zoom link will be going out via Dojo next week, but it'll be your first chance to kind of, get a PTA meeting in. It'll be virtual again. Someday we'll get back to the school and have a presentation and have our kids sing and all that fun stuff. But for now, it'll be online. So look for that in the dojo, join the PTA. If you haven't seen, the tables are up, and Michelle and Samantha and I talked this morning. We got some strategies for moving them around a little bit, but yeah, thanks to everybody that has helped out. And I think that's about it.
All right, thank you so much. Our goal is to try to start with our plan for having outside lunch for our intermediate grade. So possibly potentially 1st through 5th grade. We're just trying to work with scheduling, making sure the kids are definitely covered. And so we don't want them to be out there at the hottest point of the day, but we also don't want to take away from their play area. So we are working diligently to get that, so we can at least have a few kids start transitioning, a few classes to start transitioning to using the outside equipment. And again, don't forget, if you haven't seen the email or sign up from Mr. Giles, we are requesting parents to come and help us with tables this weekend with sanding and all sorts. So please jump into that chat, look at the link. And if you'd like to come and volunteer this weekend or this afternoon to help us, we'd love for you to bring your sander and help us prepare the tables.
I'll throw that link in the chat too, Michelle.
El mensaje de el señor Giles de la Asociación de Padres de Padres de Familia y Maestros, PTA, nos anima a que se registren si no se han registrado todavía para unirse al PTA. El enlace está en la caja de comentarios en el chat. También la primera junta de PTA será el próximo jueves 30 de septiembre en la tarde y va a ser una junta virtual. El enlace de Zoom se va a mandar por Class Dojo. Entonces espero que nos puedan acompañar. También comentamos de las mesas que PTA patrocinó, las mesas de plástico de picnic, para que podamos tener el almuerzo al aire libre, ya que es más saludable ahorita con lo de la pandemia. Es mejor para los estudiantes tener el almuerzo al aire libre. El distrito también nos mandó mesas de picnic para hacer esto realidad, pero las mesas sí se tienen que lijar. Entonces estamos pidiendo voluntarios este fin de semana si pueden acompañarnos a venir a preparar estas mesas para que estén listas para usarlas para el almuerzo. Okay.
All right, and now from a word from our PSS, Ms. Surah Hassan. Go for it, Surah.
Thank you. Good morning, Thunderbirds. First of all, I want to thank each and every one of those who donated for our basic needs drive. It was a huge success. We had support from our neighbors, from the community, from previous Thunderbirds. Parents also reached me out for support, and from our amazing PTA too. And also I'm still getting calls and emails about how to donate, how to help. So thank you so much for this. Another announcement is about our ESL classes. Some of the parents reached me out and asked if we can do this virtual because they have young kids at home. So we've decided to have those classes virtually. So please remember to sign up before October 1st for those classes. And I'll be sending our Zoom information, date and time prior to the classes beginnings. Thank you so much.
Ok, el mensaje de Ms. Hassim es, primero que nada, está dando gracias por todas las donaciones que recibimos. También se están ofreciendo clases para padres para que aprendan inglés. Se llaman ESL, Inglés como Segundo Idioma. Estas clases van a ser virtual y la fecha límite para registrarse es el 1 de octubre y vamos a estar mandando esa información también. Si no han visitado nuestra página de Facebook, Ms. Hassim también siempre pone información, no nada más sobre estas clases, pero ahí pueden encontrar también información de cómo registrarse para las clases de inglés como segundo idioma.
All right, thank you, Ms. Barrett. And now from our amazing librarian, Ms. Harris, who is also our GT advocate. She's gonna just give us a quick date and some info about GT questions and answers that you may have out there. But also we did a parent info session on Monday, this past Monday, and we've recorded it. So if you would like to go back and visit and see that presentation, you're more than welcome to. We encourage you to nominate your Thunderbird if you feel that there are gifted and talented traits, and definitely have a conversation with the teacher so that we can help to identify and nurture those abilities.
Hi, everyone. I have my pre-K kids coming in any minute now, so I'm just going to be very quick. I am going to drop the GT referral forms in the chat. There's an English and Spanish version. If you prefer a paper version, they are in the front office or ask your classroom teacher. The GT window for 3rd through 5th is actually closing today. So please refer your student if you would like them to be considered for gifted and talented. We also have a talent emergent program or talent explore program. So if they don't qualify for GT services, they qualify for talent explore instead. And then next year we can test them again and see if they've reached the GT level. For grades K through 2nd, the window opens October 25th to November 5th. So it's at the end of next month that we'll start looking at K through 2nd referrals. So just like Michelle said, you should use the form, you should watch the parent session in video. Hopefully Kent can maybe drop it in the chat. And yeah, if you have any questions, please email me or come see me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harris.
Este mensaje de Ms. Harris, nuestra bibliotecaria, que también es la representante para el programa de dotados y talentosos, en inglés le decimos GT. Ahorita, hoy se cierra la ventana de nominación para los estudiantes de 3º a 5º y en la caja de comentarios en el chat pusimos los enlaces para la forma que hay que llenar si usted quiere nominar a su hijo o hija para este programa. La ventana de nominación para los niños de kinder a 2º es de octubre 25 a noviembre 5. Y también este lunes pasado tuvimos una sesión virtual de información, todo sobre este programa. Y si no nos pudieron acompañar, grabamos esta presentación, entonces los animamos a que la vean si están interesados en recibir más información sobre el programa. Recuerden que si tienen un estudiante de 3º a 5º, hoy se cierra las nominaciones y si necesitan más información, comuníquense con Ms. Harris para que ella pueda proporcionar esa información. Sí, las formas para nominar también, si prefiere hacerla en papel, tenemos copias aquí en la oficina o si no, también puede comunicarse con la maestra o maestro de sus niños. Gracias.
All right, thank you, Ms. Barrett. All right, we're now going to move into our presentation of the Title I. That's for me to be able to give information to our families to know what exactly is Title I, what our budget looks like for Title I this year. And we are super, super excited because our budget almost doubled. And so that's pretty amazing. This is money that Travis Heights hasn't seen in quite some time. So we're going to jump into that. And again, Ms. Barrett will be helping us to translate for our Title I presentation.
Vamos a empezar con la presentación de los fondos del título 1. Entonces voy a dejar que Ms. Navarro empiece y yo voy a estar traduciendo la presentación.
All right. Mr. Haas will display it and then we'll just go through our slideshow. So just a couple of reminders for our staff and faculty PD days for students so that parents are able to arrange, make schedule necessary adjustments, and not send your children. We want to make sure that you are aware of the dates that are coming up. We only have one DOI day, which is our Day of Innovation Day, and that's going to be April 1st. We do have parent conferences October 11th and February 21st. Now, this October 11th date is a designated day. However, your teacher may be reaching out to you and scheduling either prior or during that week or after, just to make sure that we're able to have flexible schedules to meet everyone's needs. Know that it is being offered as a face-to-face. We welcome you into our buildings. We want to sit down and chat with you about how your child is doing, how your Thunderbird is thriving. However, we do understand that if you're not able to make it face-to-face, we will make phone calls and we can do a Zoom option for you. Mr. Haas will drop in the link, the calendar link at the very bottom of this presentation, just so that you can look at the district calendar and you have access to pencil in and just be aware of when Thanksgiving break is, when winter break is, when spring break is. Lots of breaks, but not as they come around through the year.
Antes de empezar con la presentación del título 1, solo unos recordatorios sobre unas fechas para que ustedes planeen, unas fechas que los estudiantes no vienen a la escuela. Nuestra nueva fecha para Distrito de Innovación, estos son días cuando el personal y la facultad tiene desarrollo profesional y los niños no vienen a la escuela, es el 1 de abril. Y los días de conferencia para padres es el 11 de octubre y el 21 de febrero. Las conferencias se están ofreciendo presenciales. Todavía tienen la opción de Zoom, pero los invitamos a que vengan en persona, a hablar con los maestros y se reúnan. Los maestros les van a estar mandando información para que se puedan apuntar un horario para la conferencia de otoño, que es el 11 de octubre. Y otra vez en el chat pusimos el enlace. Estamos proporcionando el enlace para el calendario escolar del distrito para que ustedes puedan planear bien y vean cuando hay vacaciones y todas esas fechas importantes para su planeación.
All right, so we're going to talk about a little bit about these and our rating from TEA. We get a composite score. It's designated to measure what students are learning in each grade and whether or not they're ready for the next grade level. Based on the state curriculum standards core, including reading, writing, math, and science, schools receive an overall A, B, C, D, or F rating in the 4 domains as an overall grade. Now, because of COVID last year, we officially did not get a rating. So we are still sticking with our 2019 rating. However, the district was able to gather some data. And if we were to have received a grade, then I will share that with you. For domain 1, we have student achievement. Domain 2A, we have student growth. Domain 2B, relative performance. And domain 3 is closing the gaps. And these are all pieces of how we collect points and how we initially come up with our grades.
La clasificación de la Agencia Educativa de Texas está diseñada para medir lo que los estudiantes están aprendiendo en cada grado y si están o no preparados para el siguiente grado, basado en los estándares curriculares del Estado en materias básicas, incluyendo lectura, escritura, matemáticas y ciencia. Las escuelas reciben una calificación de A, B, C, D o F en 4 dominios y como una calificación general. El año pasado, como estamos en pandemia y es COVID, no clasificaron a las escuelas. Los dominios son, dominio 1 es el rendimiento de los estudiantes, dominio 2A, el crecimiento de los estudiantes, dominio 2B, rendimiento relativo y el dominio 3 es el cierre de las brechas educativas.
When we look at our, this is now data from 2019, and you might be asking me, why are you looking at 2019 data? Well, unfortunately, last year when we did provide the STAR, we did not get a large enough collective testing population. to really look at what our score would be. Students came, they tested, and we actually did really great in the sense that our scores relative to district and state we did pretty well. However, it only measured about 60% of our population. And so that's not a relevant composite score. If we had had about 80%, then that would have given us a real telltale sign. So again, this is based on our 2019 data. And the reason I'm doing that is because based on our 2019 data, this helps us to really look at where we're at and what is the importance of the areas we need to focus on. So in my mind, the overall rating that we received was an 84, which is a B. And so we're wanting to maintain that or exceed that grade for this coming year.
Ok, la información que vamos a estar viendo en realidad es del año antepasado. Porque estamos viendo la información del año antepasado, que es el 2019 al 2020. La razón es que el año pasado no tuvimos una gran participación de parte de los estudiantes para tomar el examen estatal, el STAR, que es en lo que se basan estas calificaciones. Entonces, tuvimos más o menos un 60% de participación y aunque nuestras calificaciones fueron muy buenas, en realidad no representa a todos nuestros estudiantes. Entonces, esa información no es muy válida cuando estamos viendo en realidad lo que están aprendiendo los estudiantes y todavía lo que tienen que crecer o aprender. Por eso nos estamos basando en la información y las calificaciones del 2019 del año escolar 2019 al 2020. Como pueden ver aquí, nuestra calificación general fue de un 84, que es una B. Y nuestra meta este año es salir igual o mejorar. Claro que queremos mejorar, ¿verdad? El rendimiento de los estudiantes, como pueden ver, fue 77%, crecimiento de los alumnos 86%, rendimiento relativo 81% y el cierre de las brechas educativas 78%.
And in these 4 domains, you'll see like student achievement 77, student growth is 86, relative performance is 81, closing the gap is 78. In each of these categories, we're looking at 3rd through 5th. We're looking at how students have grown from one test period to the next. Relative performance is comparing us to other like schools within the state. And then closing the gap is looking at our student populations. And are we closing the gap between different student groups? And so that's kind of what Ms. Barrett was talking about. And again, these numbers, it can get very in depth. And if you would like to have a conversation, I can definitely sit down but I want to just kind of give you an overview so you can also see how this ties into our Title I.
Si tienen más información o preguntas sobre estas calificaciones, favor de comunicarse con nosotros. Ahorita solo estamos viendo en general, ¿verdad? Pero si tienen preguntas específicas, quieren más información, no duden en comunicarse con nosotros.
So we typically teeter-totter around 65% Title I. And this is part of the requirements is informing all of our parents that we are a Title I campus and that we inform parents of participation, that we are explaining the requirements of our Title I program and explaining the rights as parents to be involved.
El título 1 es la ley para el éxito de todos los estudiantes. Exige que cada escuela del título 1 tenga una reunión anual con los padres con el fin de informar a los padres de la participación de la escuela en la clasificación de título 1, explicar los requisitos del programa y explicar los derechos como padres pueden participar.
All right. So what Title I is it's basically, we're going to talk about the budget and how much we have and how we're spending it. We're going to be looking at our comprehensive needs, and which is also our campus improvement plan, which is also considered a TIP plan, which is a targeted improvement plan that we were on 2 years ago, which we are now off. However, we're continuing to stay focused on that so we can continue to use the best practices and to make sure that we're not on a plan again for next year. And we're going to look at the parent and family engagement policy, school parent compact, and how do you get involved. Now, the family engagement and the parent compact, these will be forms that will be sent out to you. Again, we sent them out through our e-folder, but teachers will also, during the parent conference, will reassure and make sure that you have read them, you've seen them, and signed them. So just expect there will be some papers that you'll be able to, if you have not caught them, if you didn't catch them on the e-folder, this will be an opportunity for us to catch you up.
¿De qué hablaremos hoy? Vamos a hablar qué es un título 1 y qué implica, el presupuesto del título 1, cuánto tenemos y con cuánto contamos y cómo lo estamos gastando. También de nuestros planes de escuela para mejorar la escuela y la política de participación de los padres y las familias. Pacto entre la escuela y los padres y información de cómo puede participar. Estos últimos, el pacto entre la escuela y los padres en realidad es una forma, un contrato que los padres tienen que firmar, y si aún no lo ha firmado durante las conferencias con los maestros, ellos van a tener estas formas para que ustedes las puedan llenar.
What is Title I? So Title I is part of a federal program under Every Student Succeeds Act. This provides supplemental funding through TEA to ensure that all children have a fair and equal significant opportunity to obtain a high quality education and prepare for college success. So when we think about Title I, it's supplemental. It's funds that are that are added to my my typical budget for the needs of the campus. The supplemental funds can be provided for instruction for student achievement. It can be used for professional development, and it can also be applied for areas of parent and family engagement.
¿Qué es el título 1? El título 1, parte A, es un programa federal bajo la ley de cada estudiante triunfa, así se llama la ley, que proporciona fondos suplementarios a través de la Agencia Educativa de Texas para asegurar que todos los niños tengan una oportunidad justa, igual y significativa de obtener una educación de alta calidad y prepararse para el éxito universitario. El título 1 proporciona fondos suplementarios para usarse en estas tres áreas: para la instrucción de los estudiantes, desarrollo profesional de los maestros y del personal, y participación de los padres y las familias.
So when we look at our Title I budget, and I kind of want to give everybody the history, because every year we have fought to keep our Title I money. This is, even though our Title I money from when I first started here at Travis Heights has been around $79,355. It was something is better than nothing, and that's how I've always looked at this. But a lot of our money goes towards staffing and allocations, and as you can see, our staffing costs were around $51,258. When you look at supplies, tutoring, subs for testing, and those are for when we do STAR, we have subs come in to relieve teachers. This isn't subs that are giving the test, but we relieve like our primary teachers. So for example, our first or second or third or kinder teachers that might have more experience with giving a test, so we can relieve them so that they can help give the best testing situation for all our children, because this will impact everyone. And so instead of having a stranger go into the classroom, that's how we utilize subs. Also, subs are used for training purposes, to cover classrooms or meetings that we have to hold, because we want to respect our teachers' time, but we also want to try to maximize the meetings and allocation of time for parents. So when we look at this, this was a good amount of money that we used to get, okay? And this is the 2020-2021 budget. And I'm going to let Ms. Barrett translate, but I really want you to pay attention to that $79,355 amount, okay? And then we'll look at the 2021-22 budget.
Nuestro presupuesto del título 1 se asigna en función del número de estudiantes con desventajas socioeconómicas que están registrados en nuestra escuela, que vienen a nuestra escuela. Entonces, actualmente tenemos 65% que son 506 estudiantes registrados. El presupuesto del año pasado, del 2020 al 21, fueron de $79,355. Como pueden ver aquí, la mayoría de este presupuesto se va en el personal, 51,258. Otro gasto que tenemos, que pueden ver aquí, los sustitutos para las pruebas, que son 1,500. Estos sustitutos vienen cuando tenemos los exámenes de STAR, que son los exámenes estatales, y necesitan, los maestros tienen que ser certificados, los maestros que dan este examen. Y muchas veces tenemos grupos pequeños para los estudiantes, para brindarles una mejor experiencia cuando están haciendo sus exámenes. Entonces usamos nuestras maestras de kinder, primero, segundo, que sus clases todavía no toman este examen, las usamos a ellas para administrar los exámenes para grupos pequeños y usamos sustitutos para que estén en las clases de ellas. Y ahora vamos a ver el presupuesto de este año.
So drum roll, please. So yes, you don't need to check your eyes. There is now a 1 in front of that 7. And so this is what our Title I budget is for this year. This is pretty amazing. And we are still at the 65% with ranging between 506, 510 kids. And the thing about this is that this is really life-changing money for Travis Heights. For our children, it could not have come at a better time. When you really start to look at this, our staffing has gone up tremendously. We want to invest in the forefront. We want to invest making sure that we have the individuals needed to provide interventions. We knew that we were coming not off of a year of COVID. We were hoping we were, but we knew that we were going to have to really allocate money to provide interventions and support for our teachers and for our students. Supplies, still within a conservative range of around $10,575. Our software, our PTA is typically the ones who pay the $10,000 for our software. We took that back because again, this money has to be spent this year. And so that's why we wanted to be able to bank and help PTA work efficiently, because we're coming now off of another year of where we're not fundraising. And so a budget that we typically have for PTA is just not there. Now we've been very fortunate within the Travis Heights community and people just being so giving and knowing the struggles that we're facing, that they have still continued to contribute even though we are not fundraising at the level we typically do. Our reading material, we have invested again another $20,000. I think since the time I've been here, it has now gone up to maybe about $60,000 to $80,000 that we have invested in combination between myself and PTA, because we will have our children reading by grade 3. Our children need to have that literacy component of being able to read and write and do it with fluency so that they are ready and they are college ready for success in their future. Tutoring, we have allocated $5,000. Our copier rental is just some overhead costs that we just have to pay. Subs for testing is still around $5,000. We've included snacks for test prep, which PTA usually covers for us, and that's around $1,500. And then our parent engagement, we were able to allocate around $1,755, and that's to help Ms. Hussein with books, materials, expenditures that she needs to have for when she's supporting families, or even materials for her to run as our parent support specialist. So with all of this money, we have designated, and there are areas, we've been very fortunate that the district has continued to provide us with Imagine Learning, Dreambox, IXL. And so those are programs that we would typically pay out of pocket. And so that has been able to help us kind of bank some of that money so that if we need to provide tutoring for our 3rd through 5th, then we're able to do so. Some of that money also may be allocated to run another summer camp. We were able to do a summer camp last year based on some of the money that we had that spilled over. So this budget is kind of fluid. We're able to move things. The things that are kind of set in stone are the staffing, the parent engagement, and the copier rental. Everything else, what we don't use, we lose. So we try to, our goal is by December, make sure that we know exactly where all the money is. So, and spend, so that, because if you don't use it, you lose it. It does not carry over.
Ok, como pueden ver, nuestro presupuesto para este año ha subido bastante, súper bastante. $175,500. Y cómo lo estamos gastando, aquí pueden ver otra vez el número de el personal, es donde más tenemos los gastos. Hemos invertido en materiales para lectura, para ayudar que nuestros niños, nuestra meta es de que todos nuestros estudiantes estén leyendo para el grado, para tercer grado, tutorías, y este presupuesto es flexible, pero nuestra meta es, todavía estamos en planeación del presupuesto, pero nuestra meta es ya saber, tener todo ya planeado para fines de diciembre. Lo que no usemos en este presupuesto, en este año escolar, ese dinero se pierde. Entonces nuestra meta es saber bien, alocarlo bien y usar los recursos al máximo, ¿verdad? Porque para llegar a nuestras metas de instrucción. Okay.
So when we look at our comprehensive needs assessment, our CIP, this is part of the components that we have to be able to meet for collection of data, assessment, summary, goals and performance, professional development, coordination of our resources, comprehension budgets, and family component to address family and parent engagement. This all is comprised under requirements that we have to fill for Title I. So these are kind of just some bullet points, and this is what helps us to set goals for our campus improvement plan, which is also for us, our TIP plan, which is a targeted improvement plan.
Esto explica un poquito de los componentes de nuestra evaluación integral de necesidades, que es la CNA, la sigla CNA, y las siglas CIP significan Plan de Mejoría para el campus. Entonces, los componentes incluyen, y esto es parte de para ser un campus de título 1, tenemos que cumplir con estas expectativas y tener estos planes. Los componentes incluyen una evaluación de necesidades y un resumen de datos de la escuela, metas, objetivos de rendimiento y estrategias para abordar las necesidades académicas de los estudiantes, necesidades de desarrollo profesional para el personal, coordinación de recursos y presupuesto global, y un componente familiar para abordar el compromiso de los padres y las familias.
So our Title I compact, which we did send through our Thunderbird that takes place on Thursdays. This is a link where you can download the document. A paper version will be provided for you as well if you weren't able to print that and sign it. And this is something we have to do every year, and we'll do this during parent conferences to review, to sign, just so that you're aware of what this commitment is. You know, I always think about the school, the parent, and the student. We all share this responsibility on how we approve our academic achievement. This isn't the school's responsibility. It's not the parents. This is a combined effort. And so the Title I compact outlines how parents and students and the school will share in this responsibility. And this will also be shared with you if you didn't catch it on the Thursday Thunderbird. Then you will be able to review this with your teacher at parent conferences.
El Pacto del Título 1 es un compromiso de la escuela, los padres y el estudiante para compartir la responsabilidad de mejorar el rendimiento académico. Este pacto describe cómo los padres, el personal de la escuela y los estudiantes compartirán la responsabilidad de mejorar el rendimiento académico de los estudiantes y los medios por los que la escuela y los padres construirán y desarrollarán una asociación para ayudar a los niños a alcanzar los estándares del Estado. Este año se proporcionará durante las conferencias de padres para que ustedes lo puedan revisar y lo firmen.
All right, so now if there are any questions or anything that I can answer, please feel free to either throw them in the chat and Ms. Barrett and Mr. Haas will help me to navigate, or if you'd like to unmute yourself, please feel free to unmute yourself and I am happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Si tienen algunas preguntas, las pueden poner en el chat y las contestaremos. Do we have any updates on Marathon Kids?
The Marathon Kids, I believe, actually started this past week. Is that correct?
Yes, this week. It started this week. And I think we had put information in Thunderbird. There was a link there for parents to sign up so that you can keep track of your child's progress. But they are participating in Marathon Kids. Coach Hemi is working on that, right, during PE, so that the kids can get their laps in. Does that answer your question?
It does, but I guess my big picture question is like, I can sign up for it and I think I figured out how to do that.
Yeah.
But is it something that we track ourselves and Coach Hemi tracks it, so it all goes to like a portal together?
You can. I believe it's both. For many of our families, we try to incorporate at school because we want all of our kids to participate in Marathon for Kids. So if it's something that you want to do additional, then yes, all you have to do is track it and then communicate with Coach Hemi so that kind of goes to your child's record keeping for the Marathon Kids.
So do we have to sign up for it, or did he already kind of just like assume everybody's doing it?
I believe he initially signs everyone up.
Okay.
That's what we're doing here, and that's part of why he incorporates it into the physical daily PE instruction that takes place. But I will clarify and find out.
Awesome, thank you.
And I also encourage you to sometimes teachers, like during WOW, may also have kids, count those laps and count them as Marathon Kids. Now, it depends on the teacher and the age of the students. If the students are, upper grade levels, they can log in and put in their laps. But if they're younger, there's different ways that teachers might participate and help the students count those laps. So you might also want to talk to the teacher if they're doing it as part as well, too.
All right, any other questions?
I don't see any other questions in the chat.
I have a question,
Okay.
or maybe two questions.
Mhm.
In last week's Thunderbird, there was a document that needed to be signed, which was the Peace, Climate, and Culture Plan.
Mhm.
And when I clicked on it, it took me to the Family Parent Engagement Policy form.
Okay, let me look at that and let me see if we can see what was linked up to it. And then if we need to, I'll add that into part of the things that the parents can sign when they do for parent conferences.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, because I did look it on the site, but there was one and it was dated in 2019. So I don't know if there's been updates to it.
We've updated. Okay, thank you so much. We will definitely jump on that and I'll have Mr. Haas look into it for me.
Awesome, thank you.
And your other question?
Oh, the other question was just in regards to that, the last thing that you were discussing about the Title I page that we would need to sign as well, but I'm assuming it's a different one from the family parent engagement.
Yeah, there's an engagement one, there's an engagement piece, but then there's also the engagement one, and then
The compact.
yes.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about.
But I'll have all, and then there's the climate one as well. So the two Title I, the parent engagement and the one we just discussed, that's for Title I. The climate plan, that's for Travis Heights. Just so parents understand that, we really try to redirect our students' behavior, that we're not gonna, we're gonna want to encourage by using positive reinforcement to really encourage the behaviors that we want on campus. And that's why we're doing different motivational things to recognize and exemplify the behaviors that our Thunderbirds are displaying. So like today, again, we're doing Thunderbird Pride, where teachers identify 2 students, one for academic, one for SEL. And they come into the conference room, and Ms. Barrett and I celebrate. We sign off on certificates, and we just celebrate their accomplishment of being recognized, and they get to get a trinket. And we just tell them, you know, thank you for doing and being the best Thunderbird you can. And so kids have loved it. I mean, I've had kids come in here with their certificates, and they're like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And so it's pretty awesome to see. So it's one of the best of my day.
Yeah, I can honestly say that it is wonderful. My child was one of them. And so yes, he did come home with his little ball. He's like, look what I got. I'm like, he was just beyond excited. So thank you so much for implementing that at the campus.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have, how often does Thunderbird Pride happen? So it happens every week, every Friday. Ms. Navarro, myself, and our counselors, we are here from 1 to 2, and teachers can send the kiddos down with their certificate. The teacher signs it, recognizes the students in the classroom, and then they come and they get celebrated here by us as well.
Yeah.
So if, like we said, look out for those certificates coming home on Fridays, and we do it. We're going to be doing, you know, we started it last week. It's weekly. So there's a lot of opportunities for the kids to get nominated.
And this doesn't take away from the morning assemblies that we have for the upper grades at the beginning of the month. This is an addition to, and it's because we want to celebrate our Thunderbirds. This is the year, among all other years, that we really need to celebrate and acknowledge our students. We've all gone through a very traumatic event. We still are. And I want kids to love school. I think that's why I'm a principal, because I love school and I never wanted to stop playing school. And there are good days and bad days, just like everyone has, but we get to restart. And kids have the right to make mistakes, and they get to learn from them, because that's how then we get productive adults in our community and in society. And so it is each and every one of our responsibilities to guide them to be the best person they can. And so this was an idea that Ms. Barrett brought, and I thought, this is amazing. This is manageable. We've tried all different kinds of things where we were doing curbside with the Thunderbirds, and it's, the opportunity to keep it sustainable has always been our main thing. And so our kids are loving it. They're excited about it. And, it gives them something to look forward to. I do want to kind of give you all also, if you have not signed up for the Thursday Thunderbird, it is crucial that you do sign up. You can go to the Travis Heights Elementary website. At the very bottom of the corner, you'll see an icon where it says to sign up. And it's like a little box. Please sign up, because, and Kent, I don't know if you can possibly share the screen, go to the Travis Heights website so we can just show parents, because if you have not signed up, this is one of the many ways that we try to communicate through Dojo, and then through this platform. This will provide you up-to-date information of when fall pictures are coming up, when we're asking for donations, and the next big event that PTA and I will be working on, we will be doing some sort of a character book study the last week of October. We're going to be looking at the last week is, tell me again, Miss Connell, remind me. It's Red Ribbon Week. And so the last week of July, we're going to do a character book study. I mean, a dress up as your favorite book character. We're going to do a parade outside. And then I'm going to be asking parents to volunteer and donate items for baggies for our Harvest Festival. We're not going to have a Harvest Festival, but we're going to have Harvest Festival bags that we can give to all of our kids. And so keep an eye out. That's how we get donations. We, like, again, we range between 500, 510 kids. Right now we're sitting around 489 because we still have virtual learners out there, but they're still our Thunderbirds. And so, you know, this is how we accomplish and continue to build community. We may not be able to have our Harvest Festival, but we are going to celebrate our kids. We are still going to dress up, and I already have my costume. I've been working on it already. My mother has, actually. And, you know, I'm going to be ready to go that Friday before we head into the weekend to celebrate Halloween. So thank you. Thank y'all for being here. Those are up-to-date information and points. We're thriving, we're moving, we're grooving. We are in school. We are open for learning. So, you know, hang in there. Please know that we're always here to support each and every one of you. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, just call us and we're here. All right, taking care of your babies. Have a great day. If there's not any other questions, I'll let you go because there's always work to do around here, and we will see you real soon. Don't forget, check out that GT presentation if you're interested in nominating your child, and we'll go from there. And have a great day. Stay safe out there.
Thank you so much for joining us. Gracias por acompañarnos.